Yep. So, a neighbor called my Airbnb guest the N word. Was I surprised? No. I gotta tell y'all the backstory first so you can fully comprehend why I'm not surprised. So, this is located in Peachtree City, Georgia, which is a racist city, first of all. And I decided to get an Airbnb there. I did rental arbitrage there and it was with the landlord. This is the second property that I've gotten with this landlord. So in Peachtree City. And, I wanted to expand my Airbnb business with this home. So as I'm setting up the Airbnb, I get a knock on my door. So I noticed that it's an older white woman, and I'm so sorry for the sensitive folks out there, but when I see an older white woman, I have my guard up a little bit because I'm just like, unfortunately, my first thoughts are you racist? It's sad that that's how it has to be, but I'm black. So yeah, she was a nice lady though. She said, "Hey, welcome to the neighborhood," and I have my guard up, but I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Syerena. I'm setting up my Airbnb. Actually, I'm not going to be living here. I'm going to be setting up this property for my business." The reason why I wanted to have a good relationship with her is because neighbors with your Airbnbs are really important, unfortunately, because they do create an impact on your business at the end of the day. So if your neighbors absolutely hate your guts in your Airbnb business's neighborhood, that's not going to be good for your business because they're going to do all kind of things to you. It's just like call code enforcement or contact your landlord if you're doing rental arbitrage or contact Airbnb and make complaints. So you really actually want to make nice with the neighbors. That's why I was willing to go to her house, even though I felt uncomfortable with her. Something like it was a vibe I was getting. I felt uncomfortable with her, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna view her property so that we can build a good relationship from here. But my intuition told me to not trust her. So as we're walking to her property, she's like, "Yeah, it's interesting that you want to run a short-term rental out of this property because you do know that there's a judge in this neighborhood, right?" And uh, unbeknownst to her, my landlord already told me that there was a judge living in the neighborhood, and I didn't really care about that because I already did my research on Peachtree City in this neighborhood, this area, and I already knew that short-term rentals were permitted. So a judge or some person of authority in the neighborhood doesn't like terrify me or scare me at all. But she was like, "Yeah, there's a judge living in this neighborhood. I'm not sure if they're gonna be okay or happy with you doing short term rental here." When she said that, I knew that she was really speaking on, well, okay, I guess I didn't know, but I think that she was definitely projecting her own emotions. She was probably not happy with me having short term rental next door. So she just wanted to use the judge as an excuse. So I was talking to her, letting her know that I don't care about what anybody thinks about me running an Airbnb business. So I said, "Oh, I don't care the judge is there. I don't care who lives in this neighborhood.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
I don't care who lives in this neighborhood. It's legal for me to run my short-term rental business here. I've already looked it up with the code of ordinances for this county and the city. So I'm good. I'm going to be running my business no matter what the neighbors think." And I was really talking to her just in case she was not happy with it, which is what I thought when she first said that, because that's a kind of a weird thing to say. So after that, she kind of like still was a little bit more trying to be persuasive with, "I don't know if the neighbor's gonna like it, blah blah." And I told her a few times, like, "Hey, I don't care what the neighbors think. They can do whatever they want. They can call code enforcement. They can call the police. They can do everything they can possibly want to do. However, they have no control over whether or not short-term rentals are permitted here. So I don't care." And she eventually gave up on that and just started, showing me the house. She invited me inside of her house to show me the renovations she made, and I kind of went along with it. And while she was talking, and she talked to me for like hours about all these improvements she's making on her property, which I really did not care about at all. I'm just trying to make sure that she's not going to be an enemy later on. So I'm just trying to make nice. But I did notice that my intuition was telling me that she wanted to hurt me. I know that sounds crazy because I have no evidence of that. Like, right? So she was acting very nice. She had a smile on her face. She was trying to be nice to me, but I had this like weird gut feeling that she wanted to hurt me. So when she showed me the basement of her house, which had like no windows, once we got to the basement, I felt very uncomfortable. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Because there's something about this lady that like I don't feel comfortable. Like I don't trust her. And my intuition is telling me that she really wants to hurt me. So I was ready to get out of there when we got to the basement. So I was trying to like wrap it up so I can get out of there. And unfortunately, as I was wrapping it up, we were leaving, and then she wanted to show me her trees, and I'm like, oh my god, I just want to get away from this lady. But at least we were outside, right, with the trees, so I felt a little bit safer. But it was just something about her that made me so uncomfortable, and I was so happy to get out of her house. So we finally wrapped up talking after hours of that torture, and I went on my merry way to the property, and she wanted to get my number, so she got my number before we left, and I also thought that was a good idea just to make peace with her so that I didn't have problems with her later. And I told her like, hey, if my Airbnb guests give you any problems, let me know. I'll be happy to resolve it for you, right? So I just, want to make sure she's happy at the end of the day. So yeah, I start, still getting my property ready. I'm like assembling the furniture, getting everything set up, getting deliveries there, getting the decor, hung up and all of that to prepare the property. Now, a few days go by and she starts sending me like these weird text messages. First she wants to talk to me again. So first she wants me to like come over again. And I straight up tell her like, look, I don't have time. I'm really busy, and we were talking for a long time. Well, I probably didn't say that part, but that's what I was probably thinking. Like we talked for literally hour, like 3 hours. I don't want to talk to you no more. But I what I said instead was like, hey, I'm actually really busy setting up this property, and I every day is money. I really gotta move fast. So can you just like text me? And she actually called me a few times, and I didn't answer, and I said, can you just text me? So then she starts sending me like she Googles my name, and then she finds like some podcast that I was on, and she started sending me the podcast like, wow, I've been watching you, I've been looking you up and looking into you. And I'm like, okay, that's really weird, lady. Like that's really weird. Okay. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this lady she's weird, okay? Because who does that? Who looks somebody up and then sends them like that's weird. I mean, why are you doing that? But I just ignored her at that point because I'm like, okay, whatever, lady, like look me up, whatever. I mean, on a podcast, okay. Something else that I didn't like that she texted me is, as I told you, this is not going to go over well in the neighborhood. Please tell me that this is not going to hurt me in any way. Um, So I guess what she's trying to say is that she was afraid that it's not gonna me starting an Airbnb business in the neighborhood. The neighbors are gonna be mad. So she wanted to remind me of that again after we talked for so long about that. And I told her I don't care. And then she said, please make sure that I'm gonna be good or whatever. So she admitted then that she doesn't like the fact that I'm gonna have a short-term rental business next door. Or she's like worried about that. So I knew that her ass didn't like that. But she tried to just use the neighbors as an excuse. And then she said, but as you said, there's nothing that's going to stop you. So she's reiterating how I said, I'm going to do it anyway, regardless of how the neighbors feel because it's legal. So, yeah. Fast forward months later, I discover so one of my Airbnb guests at the home, they're just outside minding their own business, getting into their vehicles about to take off. And the neighbor is she would have to go out of her way to like be able to see and talk to my guests because there's trees in the pathway, that's in between the home. So she would have to like leave her home because the homes are kind of far apart. She would have to leave her home and walk toward the home in order to even be able to communicate because it's like quite a ways away. So she went out of her way to for no reason. I mean, they're just literally leaving the property about to go somewhere really quick for no reason. Yells at my guests, calling them the N word. But her saying that proved that my intuition was correct. So I had no reason to think that she wanted to harm me because she was being so fake nice. But my intuition said this lady wants to hurt me. Um, and yeah, she is racist and it's Peachtree City. I have never been to Peachtree City other than me having a property there. And when I tell you, I will never step my black pinky toe in Peachtree City ever again. Why would I after this? Because upon talking to a lot of black folk, yeah, the going story is that Peachtree City is just very racist. But yeah, y'all, that's kind of like how I met her, and that's kind of why I wasn't surprised that she was racist. So yeah, it's unfortunate that, my guest experienced that. That's traumatizing, um, for sure. And I feel sorry for them that happened. And because of that, like I will never get a property in Peachtree City again. But yeah, with this same property, um, I did go to jail because of this property, the same property. And there's a lot of drama. I mean, there's so much drama with this property. I mean, so much drama. The neighbor calling my guest the N word is like just a regular day. I mean, so stay tuned, y'all, because I'm about to tell my story about that property and about what happened with that landlord, and it's crazy. So stay tuned, y'all.
Watch this video on how to determine the most profitable cities for your Airbnb. And I'll also discuss how to determine whether or not there's short-term rental regulations in the city. Watch this video on how to start an Airbnb business step by step.